Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45 Research Methods for Saturday, April 8th. Just going to go over a few items and reminders like I always do, just like I tell you all in class. So let's get started. First up here, just a reminder that your quiz for Chapter 11 on factorial designs, that'll be when we come back in class on Tuesday next week on the 11th. So just be ready for that. Easy to remember. The 11th quiz is on the 11th day of the month. We also have our discussion for Chapter 12 due this coming Friday as well on the 14th there. It's on correlations, so it's not too bad, but again, make sure you take a look at the samples so you know how to set up. You're going to design your own very simple correlational study, but again, use the sample I provide in the setup for the discussion to help you do that. The game plan for next week on Tuesday is we're going to finish up Chapter 11 and then start working on Chapter 12 on correlations. And we will have our quiz actually on Chapter 12 on correlations on Thursday next week. So we got two quizzes, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday next week. And we're going to be working on Chapter 12 and then start some Chapter 13 on Thursday as well, because Chapter 12, it's not that long of a chapter. And we've covered a lot of that stuff on correlations already in a couple of other chapters back in Chapter 3 and back in Chapter 6, you may recall. So next up here is that your final literature review paper, component 3 of our writing assignment, is due on Tuesday, April 25th, so it's still a little bit of ways out there. Don't forget, you'll find all the information you need in the APA literature review module underneath Unit 5 of our course materials. So scroll down to the bottom of our course page and look for the module there. You want to open up the instructions for component 3, which is the final literature review paper. At the very top, you'll see a short little how-to video. Make sure you watch that. I show and tell you what you need to do, basically. It's about 10 minutes. It'll really make things easier for you. And below that video, there is an embedded file in both Word and a PDF format, whichever is easier for you to open. That's called an instruction and a checklist. So make sure that you take a look at both parts, the instructions and the checklist. With the instructions, you will find some details about what you need to have in your paper, but also embedded links to a sample title page, abstract page, and a completed sample APA style literature review paper. That's all from that online writing lab, the OWL, so definitely check that out. Also, don't forget that you have a completed sample paper in your pocket guide to APA style. If you go into the MindTap platform, scroll down below Chapter 15, there you'll see the link for the pocket guide. Just click it open, then all the chapters will expand. Open up Chapter 9. Chapter 9 has 2 sample papers. You want to look at the first sample paper, the one that's on birth order. That's actually a sample literature review paper. The other paper that's in there in Chapter 9 is an actual sample research report, and you're not conducting any research, so don't really look at that one. Just look at the first one on birth order. It's good to have a model, a sample to work from. If anything, you can reverse engineer your own paper using that as a model, so definitely check it out. Also, don't forget to take a look at that checklist I was just mentioning in that same file there. That checklist should be viewed as a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your paper and things you don't want to have in your paper. So check it out before you start writing so you don't have any mopping up to do with any mistakes there. And you are going to be turning in, as you'll find in that instruction file. And also, if you just look at the general overall instructions back in the literature review module itself for Part 3, you're going to be turning in 8 pages of literature review content, and that's 8 full pages, so not 7 1/4, not 7 1/2, but 8 full pages, plus 3 more pages, a title page, an abstract page, and a page of references, so 11 pages all together. And what you're going to have in those 8 pages there is that's the basically the meat and potatoes of your literature review. That's where you're going to go ahead and say something about every one of your 10 references and how that supports your topic and thesis statement. You should not write about your lived experiences or your personal anecdotes in your life there. This is about the literature. If you want to throw in a few things about how your life experience reflects some of what you found in the literature review, that's fine. But primarily and mostly, it should be about what you found in literature, not unlike what you would see if there were like a little mini chapter in a textbook about your topic. That's the tone, that's the style you should keep in mind. Or, again, what would I see if I found this in a textbook? That's what you want to keep in mind when you write your actual literature review. But look at those sample papers. That'll really give you a good feel for what you need to do and the tone of the paper, etc. there. Remember, you are going to upload the paper in the dedicated submission area there, right below the instructions for Component 3 in that APA Literature Review module. And it must be in Microsoft Word, so no PDFs, no Google Docs, etc. So make sure that you have it in there. If you need any help with writing a paper, just as far as basic writing stuff, don't forget there is the Writing and Reading Center over in our library. It's free of charge, and no matter what your writing assignment is, the folks there can help you out, including an APA-style literature review paper, believe it or not. So definitely take advantage of that over in our library. Well, that's everything I wanted to say. I hope you had some nice time off during our spring break there, and I will see you in class next week. If you have any questions about anything, reach out via email on Canvas. Otherwise, I'll see you in class, and take care until then. Bye-bye.